Started with 4 recovery.
The first one up on your page. Sorry. Is that Rockwell?
4 recovery.
That was 4?
Yeah, thank goodness it's the second night, because first night I drove out of bounds.
Okay. Well, I don't want to show that because you're like the Grand National Diesel Super Stock champion. We can't be having showing videos like that.
And it wasn't the year you blew the Charger up too.
No, we made it through that system.
Here's 2014, the Bone Twister. Let's see what we got here. What year did you paint it, Trav?
Funny. I've had it for 8 years, so 12, probably 14, probably this winter, the winter of this.
Is that Hussey?
No, that's Brian Miller there, and that was guessing that's where he had bought my old tractor.
Yep.
The Mr. Bone.
Yep.
Well, that's an ECI pole.
Out into the night. Let's see here. What else we got?
Did you make it big screen?
Oh, here. Better?
Chapel Hill, 2018.
Oh yeah, play that one.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think this is Allison's video skills.
Well, there went the camera and down the track I went.
Yes, you did. What's your first thought, Allison, when you saw that?
I didn't know what the hell was going on. Probably last about 3 seconds of my life right there. I didn't know what to expect.
Oh, that's insane, Travis. Diesel tractors aren't supposed to do that, Travis.
It's bad when you can hear them. It's bad when you can hear all 6 pistons push themselves out of the holes.
Yep.
That was actually, believe it or not, was not a bad fix. That was 2 pistons, 2 sleeves, and an oil pan. And we would come back and won the next pull. So.
Was sandwich good, Trev? No, one of the sandwiches was good this year, right? And the other one wasn't so good.
Neither one was really that good. Hoopeston, Illinois. That ought to be a Saturday night. That was.
Yep, Saturday night. Did you go like 900 feet here?
Yes. I was not very happy. I'm glad the flagman come up and talk to me later because I didn't think he'd ever talk to me again. I did apologize and said it wasn't his fault.
Right.
That dropped a valve.
Super stocks. They're so neat. They're so neat. Let's see here. Travis, we always play our fun videos every night. Okay.
That's perfect. I enjoy them.
Yeah, I got to get something here.
Yesterday, how did you do?
I got second place. I lost by 4 feet.
And today?
I was 700 pounds light. because I didn't really know the weight of the tractor, and it was the first time I ever pulled her. And today, well, let's talk about today. I put her in a 16,000 pound class. I put her in turret gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her right at 370 feet, right in the sand pond. The only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.
Welcome, everybody. It's Monday night, November 15th. It's starting to act like it's cold in Wisconsin, and it is cold in Wisconsin. I don't know what it's like in Marengo, Iowa, Travis, but I'm assuming it's chilly there as well. So
Chilly, but it's going to be 60 tomorrow, so we're having our Indian summer. I think it's our last one.
Yeah, I'm afraid you're right. So welcome to Let's Grow Pulling. This is brought to you by the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association. Charles, whoosh, in the middle there, right above you, Travis. So point straight up, Travis. Okay, that's Charles. Now point at Cody. Can you point at Cody?
Oh,
Yep, that way you got him too. Then you got Brent Yaren, and then Ryan Rusick. His name is Pro Stock is still fine. I think that's from the pull-off message thread. There is Ryan. So we like to have a lot of fun. So, Travis, you are literally one of our most favorite guests to have on. We all love Diesel Supers, and you love the class, and you're a great ambassador for the class. And you finally got that monkey off your back this year, Trav. So.
yeah, it was a long, hard-fought battle. I mean, I'm telling you, clear to Sandwich, Illinois at the last pull. Man, oh man, I mean, me and Kent Payne are very good friends, and I kept telling Kent, all year, why don't you take the lead for a while? I'm tired of having it. He wouldn't take it, but he kept telling me he would not give me the championship either. So I'm not giving it to you. You're going to have to earn it. I know down deep he was going to steal it from me, but that'll be all right. So, yeah, it worked out. We had a lot of troubles. I mean, we did and we didn't, and that's what actually made the thing fun. I was I'd have to look back. I think Mike Beck was in the lead when we left Toma. And where did we go next? We went to Dodge City and ended up.
What was the crowd like out there, Travis?
Dodge City was slim. Friday night was really slim. But Saturday night was a lot better. But, I think the promoter was very happy for the first time of having a tractor pull. I'm out in there getting it promoted, whatever. And I'm pretty confident. Don't let me speak for him. I think he's going to sign up again. So Craig was he was a really good. He listened. came around, I mean, and asked us, a lot of us, what do I need to do better? You know, and he took all of our suggestions to heart. So we'll see what next year brings. It was a long ways out there. I think we were right next to California, if I'm not mistaken, when I was sitting in the seat of that Totodrome. I think that's how far across Kansas it was. But it was a great place. It was cool to see the stockyards. And then, I mean, somebody told me, you know, it was out in cattle processing country. And it's like 60 miles, 70 miles south of interstate on a 2-lane road. And I mean, you would meet one bull rack, 2 reefers, one bull rack, 2 reefers, one bull rack, 2 reefers for 70 miles. Wow. So they must process, I think they kill 10,000 head of cattle a day is what they said out there in that area.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was impressive.
That would be. The facility looked nice from what I saw, and they did a nice job with the tractors and everything ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, they did what the best they could. We were on a racetrack, and I mean, he augered that baby out. He took him a day or two with road grader, and he got us a flat spot. And it was, you know, rough. I remember I was giving the NTPA guys a hard time about it because Friday night, you know, wind and distance was 286 foot, you know, and it just sled track. Everything was not diesel super. I didn't make it off the line, ended up having a loose flywheel. So I didn't make it off the line, but I think Campaign won it there Friday night, 286 foot, tore up some turbochargers doing it. I mean, it was just a hard, you know, it's interesting. We get off on the pulloff.com, you get the pullers out there, or the keyboard pullers, I should say, that want to tell us that, you know, we need to take it back to 300 foot, or we need to be out at 400 foot or whatever. Some of them I don't think have ever really been there, or number one, worked on the tractor, drove a tractor, or wrote the checks for the tractor. So some of that comes back into, you know, that 286 foot's hard on stuff. We had a lot of breakage that night. So, but they did a better job the second night. You know, I actually went out, well, that poll was just on the NTPA's Facebook page here a while back, but it was a really rough ride. But, you know, we redeemed ourselves and got a first place. Kent got a last place, unfortunately. So me and him were flip-flopping there a lot this year. And, you know, to keep everything going there, to, you know, I think I come out of there, stayed in the lead there also, you know, there barely was out of the lead one or the other, you know, to keep that going. Yeah.
And then after Fort Dodge, then you went to, or no, yeah, that was Kansas, right? Fort Dodge, Kansas.
Oh, Mound City.
Dodge City.
Dodge City.
That's right. Okay.
Yep. Good thing Allison rode along. She didn't do any driving, but she knows all the locations. So yeah, we went to Dodge City. Then we went up to Rockwell, and you know, we had a good pull there, and then we got rained out. You know, we got rained out the second night at Toma, so we had some major rainouts there. I don't know if that was good for us, bad for us, or whatever. Beginning of the year, we were running fairly good. We were running good. Filter was clean. That's, you know, in my world, or any diesel tractor, any pulling vehicle world, if your filter's clean, life is just a lot happier. Yeah, there's the second night of Dodge City.
I'm going to play this quick, right? If you don't mind, Trev.
Go ahead. Craig did tell me that he's going to haul in a bunch of dirt. They actually have so that's like a sprint car track. And inside of that, they had like a little go-kart track that they haven't used for multiple years. So they're going to build a double lane or 2 wide pulling track down on the flat. And so we won't be cut into the bank. That's going to help. You know, I was impressed. Craig's got big ideas there, and then he's got the facility. Wow. I mean, he's got the seating, and it's everything. Asphalt parking lot for the pullers. I mean, it is a nice facility. You know what I give all my East Coast boys, you know, Mike Beck and Lock and Load and Campaign and all them guys are whining because it's so far out here to the west. Evidently, they've never drove from Ringo, Iowa to Bowling Green, Ohio, or, Langford, New York, Benson, North Carolina. It's a long ways for us to go that way too. So
I'm sure Blagrave would be interested in talking to them too.
It's a long ways for. So yeah, so that was good. But yeah, we had a good pull out there and come home, and then had a few people stop over, stay the week there, and then Rockwell, Iowa was next. And of course, we got rained out there the one night, and so everything was. We were going along there pretty good. Where we go from Rockwell, I think we finally got a week off, and then we went to Chapel Hill, Tennessee, and that was, I can't even remember all the places and how we finished on all of them. We kept going along there, and I'm telling you, the filter was clean. I was crossing my fingers all year long. My goal was to make it to right before make it through Fort Recovery. If we hadn't had no engine problems, we were pulling the oil pan off after Fort and checking things out on the bearings. And we pulled it after Fort. We went out there first night, drove out of bounds, and telling you what, I had my head in the sand after that. I'm like, I remember going off the track, and there's a couple track officials there that I said, well, I just give up the championship. It's over. That's my fault. Drove out of bounds. It is what it is. Live and learn. And the next morning, them track officials come in my trailer and said, get your head on your head straight. You still got a 1-point lead. It's time to go again. And I did run into that track crew at Sandwich, Illinois, and thanked them for, I just needed a little pep up there. We come back Fort Recovery and won that second night and kind of redeemed ourselves. And then we took the pan off. Boy, the bearings look good. I remember Healy was laying underneath there, popped the bearing cap off and said, we're putting this bearing cap back on, putting the oil pan on. We're not taking no more off. That thing looks beautiful. And so we were good. We had some aluminum in the filter early on and didn't know where it was coming from. Blamed everything in the world but what we should have been looking for. And come to find out, we were wearing the pistons out and didn't see that. Bearings were good. Filters were cleaning it. We were good. And went to Napoleon, Ohio, and pulled the rod clear out of the piston, or pushed the piston clear through the rod, whatever you want to look at it and say it. And I thought it stuck the rod through the side of the oil pan. That thing had a bad hammer to it. And so we left Napoleon, Ohio on Sunday morning. No. Yeah, Saturday night. Left Napoleon, Ohio, got home Sunday night. Healy I'd called him from the track and said, start putting the second motor together. And he had the short block done when we pulled in Sunday night. By Tuesday night, we were back in Bowling Green, Ohio. So that was a pretty quick turnaround there. But we had all the parts. Everything went good, and away we went, so.
Was Napoleon one or two hooks, Trav?
One hook. Napoleon's always a Saturday night, the week before Bowling Green.
Okay.
So, so, we did all right. We really did. Then we won Bowling Green. We won the ring this year. That was special. Had never done that before. And, and we never, good or bad, we never run away with any pulling. I mean, we'll clear down to the end. I mean, we'll go clear to Sandwich. We went to Hoopeston, the first night. And then I feel bad for the Hoopeston crew, the super stock diesels. We didn't put a good show on them. I think we had 4 or 5 out there. And I felt bad. Ryan Anderson and that crew was trying to promote that pull. That's kind of Kent Payne's hometown pull, which kudo to that. And they just, that part of the season, and that's what I've tried to explain to a lot of the top dogs, NTPA, Randall. I'll throw Greg right under there. Me and Randall have had many conversations that we're running these things too hard to run 4 weeks in a row. You've got to give us that week off to try to rebuild. If I wouldn't have had enough parts to run 2 motors, we wouldn't have made it through the year. That trip home from Napoleon and back to Bowling Green, we wouldn't have made that. It was fortunate that we had that. So, but, Hoopeston the Friday night, Old Campaign was first hook. I think I was third or fourth. I don't remember. And, me and Kent, we joke around all the time. And I said, well, maybe, Kent, what you should do is turn down first hook and then come back last, and I'll see if I can get us in a pull-off, and then you can come back again. He didn't think that was as good an idea as what I thought. So, he went first. Unfortunately, sled setting wasn't right. They reset the sled, and they were very, very good about it. They said, Ken, if we reset the sled, will you come back? And he said, yes. If Kent would have said no, I think they would have left the sled alone, but he was quite a ways. I don't remember his distance, but he was out there. And, kudos to Kent. He played it right. He didn't play it just for himself. He came back. I ended up, I can't remember if I won that night or he won that night. I don't remember. I think I won that night. No, Kent won Friday night. Then Saturday night, it was reverse rolls. I was first hook, went 386 foot, and they reset the sled. And it was unfortunate. I think Kemp come in second, or DeMars was second. I think they had trouble at 175 foot. Can't come out there, and I don't think he went over 260. That's just, it dropped it so much there. And I think first hook had that. It was first hook of the night, had that premium track, and that really helped. But then when I run it the second night, we dropped a valve, and that destroyed a cylinder head and sleeve piston. And so home from Hoopeston we come and get ready for Sandwich. Went to Sandwich, stuck injection pump, and then I'm Kent's second hook. I'm fourth, fifth hook, and got a point. I know my point sleeve. Kent goes out there and goes 85. He goes out, flutters it, and I am like, what is wrong? That is not the campaign. That is not campaign driving right there. I mean, I don't know if he was trying to do something, what he was doing, but he let out the throttle. He's going to give her a second attempt. He goes out and goes 85 foot. And clearly obvious. Now, Kent's got a problem. He's too good of a driver. He's not going to screw up the first time. He's definitely not going to screw up the second time. Kent's too good. So I'm back there and I'm licking my chops. I mean, I need to go out and make a respectable pull. I've got the championship in the bag. We're good to go. Everything. I roll out there, take off. This thing is missing like you wouldn't believe. Roll out of the throttle. I didn't even know where I went. Pulled out. I'm like, I got to try this again. Throw the side shield off. Well, they pull me back. Robbie Lemke standing there. He said, I said, I think I got an injection line broke. So we pulled the fuel stop, rolled over. He said, yep, number 4 is broke. I said, well, I'm screwed. He said, the hell you are. You got a line in the trailer? I said, yep, I got a line in the trailer. He said, I sent somebody after the line. Robbie is out there throwing wrenches like you wouldn't believe, spinning that off of there. We're getting the new line on. They're timing us, whatever we're doing. We're going as fast as we can get. Robbie looks at me and says, get on the tractor, get strapped in there. We will get this thing running. Got it running. Throw the throttle forward. And I think we go 86 foot. And go a foot further than Kent. So by then I think I can't remember how all the points shook out, but literally there was the right amount of tractors. If Kent won the second night at Sandwich or the second event at Sandwich, all I had to do was bump the sled and I still would have beat Kent. We would have tied, and I had Kent on the tiebreaker by 1 point, or by number of wins. So it was certainly and Kent did what he had to do the second event. I mean, he will come out there to lay down a beautiful pass, and we couldn't touch it. I went down and got second or third down there, whatever I got. Ended up winning by the 3 points. But it was a long, hard fought battle, let me tell you, at the end. So
just join us. We got Travis Schlabach with us, our 2021 NTPA Grand National Diesel Superstock Champion. Please type your comments or questions into the comments. We'll be sure to ask those to Travis. Trav, have you guys had the NTPA banquet yet?
December 3rd.
Okay. Is that in Ohio or Indy, or where do they have it?
Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So that'll be fun. I don't know. It's just for all the people out there that think it ain't possible, it is. I'm nobody special. I mean, you surround yourself with good people and good things will happen. And I just had a Facebook thing pop up, memories deal. It was 9 years ago last week when I went and picked up my chassis, my frame from Tim Engler. And I'll have to ask Tim sometime, see. I mean, I had no clue what we were ordering. I didn't know what I was getting when I went down and ordered that. I called and asked Tim how to get a chassis. He said, send me $100. And, then I went and go down to order the chassis and we did that. And I told Tim, I don't know what I want. He'd build enough of them. I wasn't going to tell Tim Engler how to build a chassis anyway. But, went down and picked it up, and that was kind of a fiasco type of deal. Jason, you can relate to this. Alan Moore had looked at a trailer. He wanted to buy a new Poland trailer for their little light limited super stock malfunction junction. And so they wanted to go to Indianapolis, and they were going to meet this guy from New Jersey out in Indy, pick up this trailer. I said, well, if you don't mind, I'll ride along. We can go down to Tim Engler's, pick up my chassis, and, kill two birds with one stone. And so we went and looked at that, got out to Indianapolis to look at this trailer. And I'm telling you what, that gentleman had misrepresented that trailer so bad that Alan looked at him and said, I'm not buying this trailer. You could go inside that trailer and you could count the stripes in the road from the rust holes in the inside. I mean, it was bad. And so didn't end up buying the trailer. So then we left Indianapolis. I said, well, it didn't work out, no big deal. We'll go home. I'll find it to get my truck and trailer. We'll get back on the road another day or two or next week, whatever, go out and get the chassis. And then on the way home, we were computer bandits on our cell phones, and we found a trailer in Chicago, Illinois. So we drove from Indianapolis up to Chicago, really nice trailer, they bought that trailer from Chicago. We left Chicago, went back to Indiana where Tim's at. I think we didn't get back down there till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. But Tim met us out there, loaded up the tractor. Away we went, and I think we got home at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was quite an interesting deal. So Alan always sends me that deal of when we picked that tractor up. Reminds me of the fiasco that we went through to pick that up.
Good stories. Good stories. Charles, you got to have a question for Travis. I know. Or Brandon.
Yeah. I just like to talk about the class as a whole. Everybody talks about some off-coded numbers, but just give everybody a sense of just how extra super stock is. We talk about boost numbers, and I don't think people realize that the drive pressure number is actually even higher than that. Cylinder pressure numbers are off the charts. The harmonics that are in the crank are leading people to deliberately weld in the flywheel and the harmonic balancer so it doesn't move and make it out of balance. They're putting that eighth extra main bearing on the crank snout to hold everything in place. I mean, going a little bit to that, what it takes to actually make the kind of colossal power that you guys really are doing.
Yeah, and we've never really had mine on the dyno. Everybody knows, I buy all my parts from Hypermax from top to bottom underneath that hood. And they dyno everything. And I've never never got an exact number. They don't give you dyno sheets, I can tell you that. But, I remember, I've been doing this 8 years. And 8 years ago, I asked Jeff, give me a ballpark, just something to feed my brain a little bit. And he felt we were at 32 to 3,500 horse 8 years ago. And just like every class that's out there, there isn't a class, I don't care if it's pickups or tractors or whatever it is. It's amazing the horsepower we built. But I would say we're comfortably in that fight. We're at 5,000. I don't think we're much over it. I've heard some stories from dynos, whatever. I think it's fair to say we're 4,800 to 5,000 horsepower. It is, you're exactly right. The harmonics, it's so interesting to find the part failure. What are we breaking? The first year out, I broke 3 crankshafts. The first year I was out, and that was, and it wasn't, I was bummed about buying 3 crankshafts.
Yeah.
But I was also bummed about buying the 12 valves every time we broke a crankshaft. That was 36 valves we bought. That was, like the joke in the shop was that just about sent me over the edge. And you bend every valve every time we broke the nose off that crank. We'd bend every valve in that head. Come to find out, we lived and we learned. And, we attributed that back finally to a balancer problem. And, just that you said it there, harmonics, what we're turning, what we're doing, for an easy numbers, the injection pump takes 150 horsepower to turn that at wide open. I think, Weimers and them got a new stand that they didn't even put an electric motor on their stand. They got a DT466 with a hopped up pump and turbo on it. You know what I mean? That's how they're spinning theirs. I mean, they're using a tractor motor. So, and we're definitely, flywheel come loose, Dodge City, Kansas. So literally every weekend every pull, I was pulling the clutch can and all the clutch apart to check flywheel bolts. All year. Now, never did find another one loose. So, was it because I was checking them or just a freak deal at Dodge City? It decided to come loose, So the harmonics is huge. I don't know that we're done tracing that. I think Ken had some trouble there at the end of the year out at the Enderley. And I think he's still tracing that a little bit, trying to figure out what's happening there. You're exactly right. The main bolts, everything that's going on, the cylinder heads, everything's turning so much harder. We're cylinder pressure right now, I'm not afraid to say it. What we're doing now is, so you take I think we're roughly hitting, I don't have the exact sheet that I can send us out. It's just kind of in general conversation. We're hitting the same cylinder pressure as what a nitro funny car is, or a top fuel alcohol dragster. I think they're around.
And contextualized versus burn rates of fuel, that's insane.
Yes. They're around 13, 14,000 is what, just a general rule of thumb. And they're putting us right at 12 to 13,000 right now. So, what we found there at Napoleon, we're not, a lot of times you hear about people, they say they're pulling the rod out of the piston or, whatever. We're actually driving the piston down through the wrist pin because we have so much cylinder pressure. Well, that cylinder pressure is attributed to the amount of boost that we're putting in the motor. I think I've been up in the 350s. I know there's other guys in my class that have slipped into the 400s.
Yes.
And we'll all talk about our numbers, whatever. I can tell you whether they're at 400 or not, because if their motor's destroyed, they'll say, yep, they were at 400. They run really, really good, and that motor no longer wants to live. There's a few of them. That one, he took them rod bearings, and they were thin potato chips shoved out around the corners. They were self-machining. So that is what that extreme boost is doing to us. But it's been when I look over the 8 years, it's so cool of the people we meet. Dwayne Bowes at Callie's Crank, and I haven't personally been working with Dwayne as much as Kent Payne and Steve Burge, Mike Beck. Them guys have been doing a lot of work with Dwayne. I think he hates us. He hates an inline 6 billet crankshaft because he doesn't understand why that crankshaft needs to weigh so much. You got to have a hoist to put it on the machine. They're used to, but Dwayne has been, he's like, no more. You guys, that's it. I'm not doing no more of these. But Dwayne has been a huge help in oiling. And, we switched up some stuff this year, and I have to give it to Dwayne on that. I've just followed along with some stuff that me and Steve Burge was working on, kind of sold me on it. And last winter I said, Steve, I want to do that. and we added another oil filter and did better oiling. And bearing wise this year, I didn't have bearing trouble, so is that all because of what Dwayne has worked with us on? I don't know, but did it hurt? Absolutely not. So that's the fun part of it, is to go back and find your weak links, and then find something to work on that weak link, and then watch that work. But it isn't like we can just call up Jegs and say, this is the problem I got, and, send me a aftermarket part for it. That's just not realistic, but it is fun. We usually, Profab Larry, he gets us drugged to the NHRA dragsters. And we used to go to Indianapolis, or we just went to Vegas here a couple of weeks ago. And it's fun to get back in the pits and talk to them guys out back there, the motor builders and whatever. They cannot fathom what we do. They're building 35 pounds of boost, 50 pounds of boost, whatever they build. And when I tell them we got 350, possibly 400 pounds, their eyes bug out. They just, a couple of years ago, I sold a block and a crank and a few other parts to Beasley down there in Georgia. And Rex Kuhn happened to be heading that way, so I took it to Indianapolis. So we pull in the Indianapolis drag strip pits with that block and crank in the back. And the back of my pickup was fairly popular one night, drinking some beverages, ice cold beverages. And them guys were just in awe of the material, how heavy duty, how everything was built so heavy, but one thing is, them Top Fueler and funny car guys, they're going 4 seconds wide open, and then they get new pistons, so it's different for us. Is I don't want to put new pistons in every weekend. I don't. That does take the fun out of it. I mean, it takes the money, but man, we worked on that tractor from Napoleon, which is the first weekend of August, to the third weekend of September when we were done in Enderley. And every night, every weekend, we just was nonstop on that. So, that's huge. But that's kind of where we're at. We're still all fighting it. It's fun. I think, Hyper's got some new parts coming around the corner that they're developing. And the development is not done. But I think, and they recognize it. They know what we're running up against, and, we'll see what happens. So I think we'll have something for next year. And all we're asking for is longevity. Of course, once we get to where pistons will hold better, don't get me wrong, we'll throw some more air, some more fuel, and we'll see if we can build a bigger bomb.
How much, like, we've seen a trend in diesel super away from the 4-charger into the 3-charger. I think a piece of that is maybe the advancements in efficiency on the chargers to be able to do with 3 what you could with 4. But as tire development, everything's a system. So you can't have one thing without another, right? The tires get better, you need more front end weight. The more power you make, the more strength you need in the motor. Is also the development of 3 chargers deleting that collective 120 pounds of that 4th turbo and putting it back in the motor just to make it live, a thought in your guys' mind?
Well, that's an interesting comment, because someday if you ever get around Steve Burge or the Blagrave brothers, Stan and Steve Blagraves, 2-3 years ago, and me and Jody and Blagraves, we were fighting for the points title, and I got third, they got second, Jody won, and congratulations to him on that. And I elbowed Steve, and I said, Steve Blagraves, I said, when are you going to get rid of that 4th turbocharger that's just wasting efficiency in air? And he, in a very stern manner, said, I'll die with it. So the next year, Blagraves won the championship. And I think it was the same spot we were standing in Sandwich, Illinois, and he walked over and elbowed me and said, when are you going to put a 4th charger on there so you can win the championship? I said, I guess I'll never win. So, we've seen the dyno numbers. We've heard the dyno numbers between 3 and 4, and they're literally equal. In my opinion, when I watch them guys, they have more drivability off the line with 4 chargers than what 3 does. Brian Schrammick was the king of drivability off the line. I mean, I remember the first year or two I pulled, I would go and I would literally stand at starting line to 75 foot and do nothing but watch them guys run their throttle. Brian Schrammick is 75 foot before he was wide open at Bowling Green and blew it out the end. Kudos to him. But, the 3 chargers wouldn't live. They couldn't hold a bottom charger together. And I think a lot of it's what you get used to. And just like you said, Charlie, it's what your tractor is set up for, what gear ratios you're running, what tire speeds, what tires, everything. You've got to have a complete setup in order to make that work. I mean, I don't think you could take and you couldn't take Blake Graves' 4-charger motor and everything, put it in my tractor and have it act the same as my 3 turbocharger, just like you couldn't take my setup, put it in theirs. I think your tractors are all built accordingly and your tires got to match, but it does make a fun competition. Go back to that first year of pulling 3 crankshafts. I think I went through 8 bottom chargers. I was questioning insanity at some point in there, that first couple of years of whether it's right. But Hyper, they were very good to me. They didn't fix them all for free, I can tell you that. But Jeff worked with me really well. And he never really told me, but I got a pretty good idea that I was doing some on-track dyno service for him, how long these things would last. And we finally hit it. We did. I don't know, it was 2-3 years after that. We were burning chargers up I was tearing the bearings out of a bottom charger in 2 runs. And finally, I got in my truck and headed to Gilbert's, Illinois, and said, I need to have Turbo 101 school here for an hour. And we literally got all the parts to the turbo out, laid it out. He showed me my parts, my brass bushings, bearings, and all that were purple. And he said, that's lack of oil, whatever. And I'm like, I got good oil pressure. I don't, that's not it, And so I went home and I changed the oil pressure on the bottom line, put it on with a different location, actually on a different pump, and my problems went away. Completely went away. So, there's the things, sometimes you got to step back and say, am I doing things right? Am I doing things wrong? And things have grown. I mean, we've really grown. But as far as 3 to 4, that is something that to me makes the class extra special also. That's something that I think we as pullers need to promote to the announcers to get the fans more involved, to get a 3 against 4 combination, and maybe explain a little difference of what that is, difference between them 3 and 4. In the end, we make the same horsepower. It's not a horsepower game.
I was going to chase you with a question about wastegating but you guys found a solution to get away from wastegating. And as far as the announcer thing, I know a guy.
Yeah, and we don't, I haven't used a wastegate. It's on there.
You didn't need to. It looks like you found a way around it. So.
Right. And we didn't. And we just, and that's all turbo combination. And then that's a deal, that's just drive speed and everything else. And, some guys wasted on the top end, some guys wasted on the big end. First stage, second stage, it just depends. I give Burge a hard time. He couldn't waste enough air on his. His gets out of control once in a while, but it's a combination that you really got to fight and win. And, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't remember when that was 2018. That when we were blowing turbos like they were going out of style. 2019, I don't remember. But, that was a new turbo combination that was not happy. And we were overspeeding them, in my opinion. Hypers. They took care of me once again. They did, and we put everything together. And I couldn't have fixed that problem without Cody at Corsa data. I can tell you that right there. Cody had me good data that I could email to Hyper, and we pinpointed down the failure spot of that turbo. And then it took some ironing out. It really did. But once we ironed that out, then they kind of got lived and married together. And I tried something out at the Enderley this year. We were going to try to be heroes or zeros, and we were kind of zeros. But I was confident. I would have put $20,000 on the line that them turbochargers were coming out from underneath the hood at the Enderley this year. I don't know. I was pretty scared of it, so I think my driving showed that.
I didn't. Well, in your defense too, for Enderley on that side, when we got to your class, I'm not sure the track was there either. No, that was hard. That was a hard deal. Hang on, I got to plug my computer in. I didn't realize the battery was getting low. I'm back. So yeah, it was hard. We had that rain. What was it, an hour before? What a bummer that was, and it was slick and greasy, but they had a good track, They did. I remember somebody come over and said, maybe you ought to drop a gear. And I'm like, what are you smoking? We ain't dropping a gear. We got the Billy Bad turbos underneath the hood. We're going to make this happen. I got to the end of the track and said, man, I should have dropped a gear. Yeah, live and learn. And it was Marcus. And he come back around and he made sure that I knew that we should have maybe dropped a gear. Yeah. I can keep talking all night on engine setups. I'll yield the floor to somebody else.
No, it's all good. I love the technical knowledge, Charles, that you bring to the show. Travis, is pretty much all the diesel super guys going to hyper, or is it more than just hyper, or what are you seeing out there?
No, I mean, hypers on the block. A year ago, it was all hyper. I don't think anybody had a DNR Snicker block. I don't think anybody did. Of course, the John Deere guys are getting them a fill at Riverside. But now, what's going to be interesting now is, I think Kevin Campbell's got one out. Robbie Lemke's got one out. So that's a Snicker block, whatever. That's going to be interesting. Now, part of me, I'm sitting back here going, well, I don't understand. We're not having any block trouble, so why are we switching it up, But we are, I shouldn't say we're not having any. We're moving main caps. That's another weak link in there. And I noticed what them guys are doing by adding the extra main bolts in there. They're trying to prevent that. It's interesting, but, once you get into that, crankshafts, you either buy Hyper or Sonny Bryant. Rods. There's a couple, 3 dealers on rods. Lemke's got some rods. Hyper's got rods. Pistons, there's plenty of options out there. Cylinder heads, you're a Hyper or Lemke. That's pretty much there. And then turbos, that's wide open. You got Weimers out there, Hypers out there. I think Hart's had a set for a while out there. I know I missed. No, I think that's it. And then injection pumps is, similar. Weimer, Hyper, Hart's, so it's not dead set all on Hyper by far. There's not a lot of us, chain reaction boys out there in New York are all Hyper stuff. But a lot of them guys are mixing and matching a little bit. And there is no right way. And no way am I saying that Hyper is the only way to go. I kind of did that because I didn't know what I was doing when I started. And I knew if I could just go buy everything from one place, I didn't have to say, well, how's this work and how's this work and what should we do here and this and that. It was all, and Jeff gave me a nice setup when we left. I mean, he knew I didn't know nothing, had no clue how to drive, didn't even know how to start that tractor when we built it, so that's kind of the scenario, but that's what also makes it fun. Kent Payne's running a different setup than I am. But we're still very competitive day in, day out, all the way through there. So
on the aftermarket blocks, I don't think it matters at 540 cubic inch, but for like the pro stock guys who are running 680, are some of these aftermarket blocks being developed with a different cam center line to clear the stroker crank throws? Is that what they're doing?
Don't quote me on this. I don't think they can. I think by the rules, the cam has to stay in the same location. Okay. What's interesting is we sell some of the blocks that the guys window, kick the rods out. Blagraves have done it. Dang it, there was somebody else. But the pro stock guys are buying our old blocks because they can weld the pieces back in where the rods went through. They'll weld that back up. There's, on them Hyper blocks, they got enough nickel in them. They weld beautifully. and then they'll machine them out and get that 6-inch stroke crank to go through there. So yeah, I don't know. I think the biggest lot of it is just the main cap. Like if you look at Kevin Campbell's block, we have a main cap, and then we have a block that goes between there to girdle. He made his main caps the full length, so there's no block. So that kind of made a difference. Is it good or bad? I don't know. I'm certainly kudos to everybody for trying something, because if that is our next weak link, kudos to them guys for being ahead of the game.
Any new or returning diesel supers on the circuit next year, Travis? What are you hearing?
I'm hoping. I talked to John Raymonds. I think John's going to get back out. He's waiting on some parts. I think actually he's getting one of them new John Deere blocks. Don't quote me on this, because John, he might tell me if I'm wrong. He's getting some parts from Robbie, a block or a head or something like that. I know he said he was waiting on that. So John, I think we'll see John back out. I think the Olden boys, Drew is successfully, he's raising kids. I give Drew Olden a hard time every once in a while. I'm like, Drew, man, you're taking care of the kid raising thing. And so rightfully so, kudos to him. He's got to stay home and take care of his family. But I think his dad's going to try to get his tractor out. And then they always had the White Fawn with Jim Rand. So I think if they bring one, they'll bring two. So that's kind of exciting. No, I haven't heard of a lot of new ones coming out, but we'll welcome anybody. God, jump in. You can run. We'll help you. So,
James Hunt has a crush on you, it appears.
I can't believe that out of Darren Hunt.
I know you don't like this question, but I just want you to touch on it briefly for me.
So, would we ever try running? Yeah, we're going to run in Louisville, Kentucky with them if I get accepted. Yes,
you're going to get accepted.
If I get accepted,
you, Travis.
That's what I always just say. That this list isn't out yet. That whole alcohol thing is a huge deal. The issue becomes, and I think, and kudos to Jody and Colin Ross. That tractor is number one, beautiful, and it runs hard. Can he be beat by us? Me, Kent, Burge, can he get beat in the diesel super class? Yes. He is not perfect all the time. We can sneak up and get him. Does he run hard 98% of the time? Yes. So kudos to what Jody and Colin are doing. But, they're running hard, and I think they're working on it a lot. And I think that's the biggest thing, the difference between us diesel guys. If we're going to run against the alcohol guys, we're going to have to put them on kill every single night. And I mean, not worry about whether we blow them up or not. Where my opinion is the alcohol guys are running a little bit easier. And if they want to tweak it up, all they do is reach in and give her some more boost on the wastegate and another degree of timing, and they're radical. Yeah, don't get me wrong. We can take some fuel away, put some fuel in, add some water, whatever. But I think we've got to run on kill in order to keep them on, when they're on their A game, not on kill. And can they have failures? Sure they can. But I don't feel we can run with them. And, I've only been doing this Grand National for 6 years now. And I wasn't involved in the divorce. There is still hard feelings in the diesel world based on how bad it was back when they had to go through the, I call it the divorce to get them separated. So I just, I don't, and them guys don't want to come down to our cubic inch. If they're going to come down and play, then I want to run them square up. If we're going to do it, we'll be 540, they'll be 540. And, so I don't see that problem, I would just love to see the alcohol class is awesome. I'd love to see Mike Cheezick and them treat tractors, Glotz. Look at when PPL has them. They put a good show on. We just need a few more of them and get going and get that class built back up in NTPA. And there's enough room for tractors and NTPA and PPL to run that. They need to work on that program a little bit. But, they got to get to where they quit changing the rules. There's nothing worse on somebody than, They run it for 2-3 years, and then, oh, nope, we're going to change the rules. So now you got to go change all your setup. That's wrong, in my opinion.
So you don't want to build an OHC 650?
No. We actually, our NTPA rules are 540 cubic inch. It used to be 540 for a 4-charger rig, 3 pressure stages, and it used to be 640 for 2 pressure stages. So we could go 640, but remember 2-3 years ago when everybody was on a turbo limit, and now they all wanted to put turbo limits on whatever. We as a class went into NTPA and said, you guys want us to put limits on? Here's our limit. Put it at 540. I think all but 1 or 2 tractors were at 540. Couple of them guys grumbled a little bit. I don't blame them, because I just said you got to quit picking on them if they start winning. But, we set that at 540, and that was, I still think, one of the better things we do. We just, when we go up bigger, all we're doing is starting over with a new set of problems. Sleeves, pistons, rods, we're just creating things. So that was where we were all comfortable. Years ago, it was before me, they outlawed intercoolers. I think this was a story I heard. John Raymond or somebody was coming to the track with an intercooler, and they're like, no, we do not want to put intercoolers on diesel supers. So let's just nix it right in the beginning and be done. So
at the boost pressure you guys are running to make an intercooler hold together, it probably way more than the gun safe that is on the other side of this monitor. I mean, it wouldn't work.
Right. And, if it was the intercooler and somebody made it work, then everybody keeps trying it, and we just keep blowing things and blowing things and blowing things. Yeah. So as a class, it was good. Our class gets along, I feel, really good. Our class, you come back to the pits sometime after the pull. If we're not switching parts, we're sharing beers, one or the other.
Yes.
Seen it done. We're just, we're out to compete on the track, but we know we got to be friends in the back, and we share parts all the time.
Doug Borth wants to know about your first trip to Ellsworth, Wisconsin.
First trip, that was when it was silver, man. I'm telling you, like I said, we went to, I can't think of that place in Illinois, and just did a test hook exhibition to see if Leaf River, Illinois was the first place.
That was the Badger State hook.
First time we ever took it down the track. We made it. We blew the injector completely out of it, learned something there. We didn't know what them little spindles were, them line-up dowels were. So we got that put back in, and we go to Ellsworth, Wisconsin, and I leave the line, and we are hauling mail. And about, 250 foot, it blows a piston out of it, sends the oil pan to the ground. And I didn't know what happened. Like I said, I've said this many times, you're talking to a guy that had no clue there for a while what was happening. I literally thought it shoved the crankshaft right on the ground. 3 years before that, I'll give you a little story. We went to Tomah, Wisconsin. Me and my wife went up there, and we sat on a starting line. And I said, Allison, this is the class that I'm going to build. She had no clue what diesel super was. And I don't remember who the first tractor was up, but he didn't even get off the line. And she's like, boy, that's impressive. This was a good class. And the next tractor up was Hans Boxler.
Oh, boy.
And we all know that thing has a distinct sound to it, a distinct everything to it. And Hans doesn't go 2 foot and sends the crankshaft on the ground. So she was not impressed with this class that I had picked. So when we were in Ellsworth, we blew the pan off, and I only blew part of the pan off so that it was still dragging. So I just jumped off, the tractor's not on fire no more, and we got all that done, and they're pulling me in. If you've ever been to Ellsworth, it's like a kind of a asphalt road back to your puller. And this whole time we're getting tugged down there, all I can hear is, and I'm thinking that's my crankshaft just dragging on the ground, self-clearance thing down there. Here it was just the oil pan dragging, and we just took a piston out of it, so it was no big deal. But that's how little I knew back then. So, yeah, that was and then the next year we went, I think we broke the nose off the crankshaft again. And I told Doug, I will come back to Ellsworth in my lifetime, and I will beat that track, but it'll be a while. It will be. So he calls me usually every year and says, "You coming?" Now, just scared of it again.
Yep.
So
no, that's good. That track we watched that. What the Black Sheep semi, Brent, was that the one that Ryan?
Yep.
Tossed the motor out of it. So.
Yep, Craig Braun. He also tossed the motor out in limited pro stock class.
Yeah, the Hampton Hooker.
Yeah.
2016.
Yep.
Or 17.
yeah. Yep. So it is a good pull, though. Encourage anybody's out there to listen. That Ellsworth, they put on a good pull. They really do. It's a good track, and it's good.
Well, Travis, let's kind of transition into the Pullers Championship, May 13th and 14th. You are our class rep for the diesel superstock class, and we're hoping that you can line up 12 diesel superstocks for us. What are you kind of hearing from? We're just kind of getting it going. Not everybody knows about it yet, but is there a decent buzz about it in the Puller community? Or
There is, because Jason, after you put it on the other night, I've got a couple people that had messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm interested, whatever." And I just said, I needed to get my head wrapped around the game. So I was super excited last Saturday when I happened to be stopped at my shop to look something up on on my computer, and my Facebook popped up and the website was up. And I thought, you know what? That was one thing that I needed in my head before I call people and say, "Hey, this is how you do it. This is how you do it." I needed to do it myself so that I knew to say, "This is what you do." And, I popped that baby in there. And I think I put that on your comment, Jason. In less than 5 minutes, I was done. So whoever designed that website and put it together, it is user friendly and I'm not no computer guru, I'm telling you. So Brent, nice job on that. I mean, you made it easy. The boxes, click, go, yep, add a few things, make it happen. And I'm good on the picture deal because I didn't have a picture on that computer, and I was like, how am I going to do that? And then I read there, it said, and then I read it. It said, if you don't have a picture, don't worry, we'll use a picture. Okay, perfect. We're not worried about it. So, yeah. I have had some interest. That was helpful. I mean, for the one was Brad, I think Brad Decker out of Arkansas down there. So that was cool that he reached out to me and said, "Hey, if you got room, I'm interested, whatever." So I need to spend hopefully the next week or so, get on the telephone, line some guys up and say, "Hey, you need to now, the website's up and running, get up there, get your stuff, get signed up." And, the cool thing is, Jason, I'm finally starting to understand how we're doing the payout and all of that stuff. So yeah, I'm excited. I think we can get 12. It's, everybody's grumbling about the time of the year. Schultz, you guys have done a great job of saying, well, then tell us what time is good. But the end of the year is not, because we're wore out. So I love it. Campaign and I went to Dubuque, Iowa last year to an outlaw pull because it was 2-3 weeks before our season. And I wanted to show Kent how good I was, and he wanted to show me how good he was, So we wanted to see what each other had for each other. And I think that's what this is going to be. It's early enough in the year. If you do go down there and break, you got time to fix it. It's not like it's a week before your championship series starts. And but yeah, I'm excited. I think we can get enough to go up through there. I mean, and we'll see.
I feel like for the diesel super class, Brent, we picked 5, right? The top 5 NTPA tractors. We invited them.
Yep.
So basically, Trev, I need you to put together a list of 7 more tractors to invite, and then they have through the end of the year to sign up and pay. Then after that, we can open up to the fans. But, there might be fan votes that might get in, but they might not want to be there. So you just have to work with us on that. But I know Doug Meisinger is watching the show right now. He's messaged me. He wants to go. I know Taylor Van Beek wants to go. He was your outlaw champion.
And I think that's what I like about it. The whole deal is good is, I don't want it to be 10 NTPA tractors and 2 outlaws. I'm hoping that, maybe we get a couple out of the South. Maybe a couple from the South. Let's get a couple, 2, 3 from outlaws, and then whatever. I'm all about that, and that's why. Yeah, I'll reach out to Doug. I need to get Taylor Van Beek, Tyler Bachman, Matt Goodwin. Some of them guys aren't going to be able to do it because they are farming, and kudos to them. You got to, the best way to go broke tractor pulling is forget working. because the only way we can pay for this sport is go to work, so kudos to them guys, that do have. Fortunately for me, I think I can have that thing together. But and everybody can do it if they want to. We do it all the time. We farm all summer and we tractor pull all summer, but some of that's just a busy time, but go from there. But yeah, I love it. Like I said, website was easy and simple. And yeah, I think it's an all right deal.
No, we're excited about it. We're hearing a really good buzz about it as well. It's funny, nobody will go out and post stuff on the forums, but they call you privately and they tell you, man, you guys really took your time on this and did your homework. I'm like, well, there's 7 or 8 of us that we all can MF each other and we're still friends. Yeah. So we've had quite a few meetings behind the scenes, and we agreed. I mean, if we adamantly disagreed with somebody, we're going to say it that day, or we're going to shut up about it for the rest of our life, because we're all friends, but just like we're competitors for a little bit too. I mean, we're all very opinionated people on what we think needs to happen.
And that's what you need. That's what you got to have. You don't want a group that just sits back and listens to one person do all the leading and everything, and then criticizes and says we shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have done that. That's not what we don't want that. So, and you guys, you're not competing. I think you're the gun out of the chute. Everybody wants to. Everybody's going to dyno all winter long. Yep, we got the best thing. But until you put that thing on the track, you don't know whether them dyno numbers are any good or not. Did the tranny hold it? Did we got the tires for it? Whatever. So, I think, and you're pretty much central United States. I don't think you can, say. I don't know if I can get the Blade Grade boys to come up yet. I don't know when cotton planting season is, but I heard the other day they got a record cotton crop down there, which is making me nervous. That means the Diesel Super will run harder next year.
You know the chain reaction guys very well, Travis?
Yes. Yep. I can get their number also. Nope. We need to just, like I said, we need to open it up and get it to all of them. And, and if somebody, I'd like to call them, and if they say definitely 100%, no, it doesn't work in my schedule, then I don't even want to put their name out there. I don't, it just doesn't make no sense. So I need to just get some people and say, yes, I'm interested in whatever. But I think it's a great deal. Originally I was like, God, I hope we can get 12, but I'm happy now. I think we can get 12 of us.
Yeah, I think it's catching momentum. It's catching pretty good momentum. We have a Facebook chat going with the 8 of us all the time, and sometimes it'll eat up our whole day. We're going back and forth on stuff, but got a lot of good technology guys on board on our crew. You saw what the website can do and stuff like that. We got to get our sponsorship form up, but that holds our facility, Travis. It's the real deal. Yeah, it's the real deal down there. So,
yep. So,
well, cool. Yeah, if you could work on 7 more names here in the next week, maybe before Thanksgiving, and then Brent can get those posted up on the website, and then if they can just accept it by the end of the year, and otherwise we'll just open up the fan votes. But like I said, I think the Diesel Superclass will be a little more touchy. We really want to work closely with you, Travis, to get 12 tractors to commit to that. So.
No. So I'll work on that here to get that done before Thanksgiving. So
cool. Guys, we got anything else for Travis? I got a video queued up from Toma this year.
Jason.
I want to play before Travis goes.
Jason, look at the comments. Brenton Rogers asked a question. I want Travis's input on that.
Give me 1 second. Oh, wow. I got to keep up with the comments. Where did the Screaming Demon 2 go?
That went to... God dang it. Who had it when he pulled
Ryan Bricker had it.
Bricker had it. Sold it to... Did he sell it to Gettinger's?
Not as far as I know.
He did?
I heard it went way farther west than that.
I think it went to Gettinger's, but he didn't have it long, and then it was gone. And I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, Ross is saying Bricker.
Bricker had it, but I don't know if he still has it.
No, he does not.
No. I don't.
It's south. It's just south of you, from what I understand.
Oh, it could be.
He lives in Iowa now.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I have no idea who owns it. Mark Ulmer and I were talking about that, and I'm going to see Mark this weekend, and I intend on asking him where that went.
We're still trying to figure it out. It's been weeks.
Well, somebody's got to pop up and say where it's at, but I have not seen it.
So, but Brenton, it is still alive, and they are still planning on running it. Last I heard, they were going to run Outlaw Super with it.
Well, that'll be interesting. Be something different out there. Yeah. Kudos.
Hey, Trav, there's been like 10 comments with Rockwell moving off of Rock Valley. Is there a Grand National hook on you that weekend?
See, and I haven't heard the schedule. That whole Rockwell deal has really got us. I'm like baffled. I don't know where we're going to end up. So, yeah, I have had some messages from people saying, you coming to Rock Valley? Yeah, and that's an awesome poll. Kudos
to 12 comments tonight.
Yeah. Kudos to the Outlaw boys and all them guys that put that on. And you know, a couple of years ago when COVID hit, Kent and I went out there, and I'll tell you what, they treated us great. You know, we were the outcasts coming in, but they didn't treat us like an outcast. They said, hey, thank you for coming to the poll. And we went, I felt we put a good show on, and you know, everything went good. So I don't know, you know, what the schedule's going to look like, because I'm curious. I think that weekend that Rockwell went to was Napoleon.
It was Salem.
Oh, it was our off weekend then.
Yeah, it was Salem and Mount Sterling, maybe.
Yeah, and see, that's the struggle. Because what will happen there to be Salem, Mount Sterling, that was our off weekend. But, you know, we just got done with Fort Recovery, Chapel Hill, and Fort Recovery. So, like I said earlier tonight, I cannot go from Chapel to Fort to Rockwell to Napoleon to Bowling Green. There's no way. No, not just me, our class cannot do that. We will end up with 5 tractors in Bowling Green. And that's not good for the Bowling Green fans. They put on too good a show out there. So, you know, so hopefully, and I think Greg Randall knows that.
I got a call today from somebody from Salem that wanted me to know why he told me that 12 classes are going to Rockwell, the Grand National. And I know, Roos, I know you're more involved with Rockwell than I ever have been or will be. You and Charles is the announcer there, but he just wanted me to know before I heard any rumors that they were switching or whatever. He wanted me to know that basically the NTPA came to them and said the classes are going to Rockwell. That's just what he told me today. Because there was some chatter about it on Pull Off, and he knows that we talked to a lot of people. He just wanted me to mention on the show tonight. No, I think he's a little pissed because I think there was that feeling of the first right of refusal. But I know the state of Iowa does not like Rockwell and Rock Valley on top of each other. And I think the promoters, I think Tim, I mean, I don't know because I haven't talked to Randall in a year. I've called him a couple times with just random things, and I haven't talked to Tim since last summer. So, and I think
I'm not speaking for the Rockwell group, but just in general conversation, you look at what them guys, if anybody's been there, we've been there. I mean, we pulled Region there. We pulled Region Super Farm there when that first started. So to see that pull go from the region pull, you know, to the region pull to the Grand National pull and add classes and Grand National and add another night and Grand National and add another session, them guys, kudos to that Rockwell Lions Club. So, I mean, at some point you've got to, I know people are grumbling that, well, why did NTPA? Well, they went super national. At some point, they got their checkbook out and said, we're going to have every class. And that's impressive. You know, it takes some money, it takes some organization, it takes an event to do that. So I feel bad for the people that, you know, Salem that did get trumped on that. I feel bad for them, but I think if Salem would have done the same thing and kept growing and growing and growing and ended up super national, they would have trumped them. And Rockwell, I think, has been wanting to get off of that weekend for a long time, for the past 4 or 5 years. So it wasn't a knee-jerk reaction from Rockwell. And, you know, I think you got to give the Rockwell Lions Club, you know, instead of, oh, you guys just got your way and took everybody and did everything you want. No, they worked at it. They worked at it for the last 4 or 5 years and kept going and going and going. So kudos to them. I think the state of Iowa is going to love it. You know, Rock Valley is an awesome poll. There was a huge attendance. It isn't that far. Them people that live in the middle between Rock Valley and Rockwell, what are they going to be? An hour and a half from two of the greatest pulls in Iowa?
Yep.
Kudos to them. I mean, so yeah. So I don't know what we're going to end up doing. I haven't heard our class schedule. Usually that'll rumor mill or leak it out at the banquet. I don't know actually when they're going to post them and all of that stuff. So, but some of the campers in Bowling Green believe Rockwell will be the big. Oh, and you gotta once again, you gotta give Rockwell their due. Is they added the camping. I'm sure them guys went to Bowling Green. It's not hard to go to Bowling Green and figure out, well, what makes Bowling Green so great? Well, number one, the Polar fans and the people that put it on, but the campers. Yep. I don't know that we're going to have, quite the boards and everything else out there at the campground in Rockwell yet. But I think that's an excellent comment that at some point, will it take over and go like that? I've got friends from my area that I can think of a couple that they didn't, they always want to come see you. Well, where do you pull around here? Well, I'm sorry, but Rockwell's the closest one we pull at. But they've started to come up there and go camping and, got their camping spot. And they've been there now 2-3 years. So I think that's fun for me because we're in Iowa. A lot of people want to come watch you pull, and I do pull in my hometown once in a while, just an exhibition. But, like this year we didn't because we're in a points race. I couldn't afford to blow it up again, So, so that's a fun deal. And then when you're up there, you're competing. You're giving, live action.
Yep. Well, Rockwell is awesome. Everybody on the show knows that, and everybody that's been there knows that. So I do feel bad too for the Salem guys, but go big or go home. And that sounds like that's what happened. But to be a super national, you have to have every class, right? Every Grand National class.
That's the way I take it because like Toma last year didn't have every class, so they weren't a super national. Is that correct?
Right. So they didn't have the Alkies.
But Chapel Hill is a super national poll.
Yep.
So is it a purse? Is it the purse thing?
It's purse. It's an increased purse over what the Grand National purse is.
But Chapel is a little bit different. They limit how many people can come. It is not wide open. Right. So and I think didn't they book one on top of Chapel? The PPL guys got one up there at the drag strip, don't they?
Yep.
Is that Norwalk?
Yeah, Norwalk.
Yeah. So I mean, but you know what? It's PPL versus NTPA. It's not. There's enough pulls. There's enough pullers. It's not. We love to just go pulling. That's what it is. So that's kind of the whole difference in that things.
No, I love it. Travis, don't leave yet. I'm going to key up a Toma video of you. We might get a few more questions, but then we'll wrap it up here shortly. So.
I got an idea about this one.
Twister loose, and here he comes. Headed home for Marengo.
I'm just trying to grab some of the good videos from the NTPA.
That one has quite a few views on TikTok.
Does it?
Travis doesn't even know what TikTok is, and he's got like almost 5 million views on it.
Okay.
Nice.
What's your TikTok?
I didn't put it on there. Someone else did.
Okay, so just look up Bone Twister, probably.
Well, it was under look up Toma, the Toma tractor pull. It's under that.
Okay.
What was interesting about that pull? I mean, so you see me going down there, and I don't know what distance. What was it? 320 that I was sliding the chalk line to the side.
Yep.
You know what? At 300 foot, what was really going through my head was, well, that's the end of your championship dreams for this year. And so we did that, and I'm telling you what, we watched that pull. And of course, we were back at the trailers and everybody was watching it and telling me how I got a free one and this and that. And I'm like, no, you guys aren't analyzing this correctly. I never touched the chalk. I just slid the chalk out of my way, and there's no chalk on that tire. So we got lucky.
Hey,
we got lucky.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, and it was actually when, the NTPA boys slow motioned and zoomed right in it. It was super cool. I mean, I think we were moving the top inch of dirt completely sideways there. And so, yeah.
That would be
It's under Toma tractor pull.
That would be the hardest thing in the world.
It's
watching that chalk line, Trav, and knowing that person that driving it. You know what I mean?
There it is.
Million. Holy crap!
Go! Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up.
Yeah, that tire's clean. That
tire was clean. Yeah.
From that angle, it definitely supports your statement. Yeah. No, I agree with you from that.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
That's clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think NTPA had that on RFD, and they had a slow motion that kind of narrowed that in, and I'm like, whoo. Yeah.
I'm all stop me. I'm all stop me. I'm all the way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All the way up.
I don't know who posted that video, but I caught wind of it and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, the Toma tractor pull, I was proud of them. They got up, they had a couple up real famous TikTokers from Wisconsin, a couple cute girls, the farmer's daughter, and she was up there doing stuff, and they did a good job with it this year. So
they sure did.
Yep.
Toma Friday night this year was off the chain. It was so cool. Like it was awesome. The crowd, it was awesome. Awesome. So. Well, boys, Travis, Allison, we got anything left for Trav?
Let the record state Travis didn't swear as much as his wife did.
Perfect.
It's in the notes, Trav.
Whoops.
Well, Travis, the polling community appreciates you. We appreciate you. I'm a Marengo. I was born in Marengo, Iowa. You're the mayor. I'm still working on my billboard, but we'll get that put out there. Get the remedy up there with the bone twister on the billboard. So.
There you go. Yeah, and thank you guys for everything you guys do. I really appreciate it. I mean, I know it's every Monday night at 8 o'clock. You guys get on here, and if I'm sitting at home in my chair, I'm jumping on here and just listening. Just something different. It's fun. I'm glad you interview the random people, and it's fun. It's fun. If nothing else, it's fun to get that other. If there is people out there that are, maybe regional or, I'd like to go do this, but I don't know if I can, pick up the phone and call somebody. It is not, like I said, I've told this story 100 times. I mean, when I built my tractor, they told me I could never win Grand National. You'll never be able to run with them Grand National diesel supers, and we went and we did it. And, I'm not nobody special. Hypermax will sell parts to anybody. I mean, Denny Healy will put motors together for anybody. I mean, you got to surround yourself with good people, but you can do it. Yep. You can do it. And then that's what we want. And it does take a lot of effort, but I enjoy it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I blow it up. I'll be grumbling and bitching and moaning and kicking the cooler and everything else. But
they're tied now. They're tied.
Actually, then after we get a beer or two in me, then I mellow out, rethink my life, and we're going to go do it again. So.
Okay. So the last question is always asked by Ryan Rusink. So Ryan, do your thing.
Yeah, but I'm not going to ask Travis this time because the last time we had Travis on the show, I asked him and we got an answer out of him.
Yep,
so I'm asking Allison this time.
Oh, Allison.
If you could steal the keys to anything and go pull it for a weekend, what would you take the keys to? Where would you pull it?
Well, I would
wide open. You can take anything. You can kick your husband out of the seat.
Well, I would do that, but I have to live with him. So when I do better than he does, that wouldn't go over well. So I would have to find me a super semi.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I figured for sure it was. I'm stealing the keys to Lisa's truck.
Well, see, I spent a lot of time with her too, so I can't rock that boat either. So
yeah, that's your drinking buddy. Don't screw that up, Allison.
Well, I can't split up the mice.
I would have.
That's also true.
Brewstick, I had that pegged when you answered. That was Mother Trucker all the way.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, she'd been on. There ain't no way we were buying a super semi. And, I wouldn't even. I'm not. No, not selling my diesel super to put her in a semi either. They're worse to work on than a tractor, I think. So no.
Bigger cubes.
But they are cool.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of putting Kara in the shotgun seat of a hot street semi that put like 12 or 1400 to the ground. She got out of that thing this year in September. She got out of that thing and she comes back and her eyes are as big as saucers. She's like, "Oh my God, we got to do that again." I'm like, "Oh no, we don't."
Yeah.
Shane,
Jason,
where did Denny's tractor go?
That's Jason By has that up out of Minnesota. It's a 4-1 tractor called Storm and By.
Yep, that's right.
Yep. And Denny hated to sell that tractor, but it just got to the point. He is so busy building tractors, working on tractors, that it was literally late August before he'd get his first hook in. And I can't. He's got the open invite to drive mine anytime, but I can't even get him to come to a pull. So he has come to the NTPA banquet. Yep,
Wow.
Yes. Yep, and be the first time he's ever flown. So we're going to stop by the vet clinic when we leave town, get him some of them large animal tranquilizers.
Either that or the bar, one of the two.
It's a combo effort.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, he's like B.A. Baracus from the A-Team. Didn't they always have to drunk B.A. to get him to fly on the plane?
That's right. Yep, I think it's going to be the similar thing for that.
I love it.
So.
Well, cool. Well, Trav, if you could get us, 7 more names to put on the invite list.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
And if you have any questions on what we're looking for, they can call me directly, but it's all good. So thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a good one.
Bye, Allison.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
That was fun.
Consistently a great interview, start to finish. Always.
Yeah, that's I texted him last night. I'm like, tomorrow night? He's like, absolutely. And I'm like, perfect. And I just knew that he would take over like he did and doesn't talk too fast and tells us a story, and everybody knows the tractor. I mean, it's not, if you follow polling, everybody knows Bone Twister. So
I love his story.
You've never heard him actually pick up a mic and announce.
He's awesome.
He is
amazing.
Charles,
the amount of natural talent that guy has when he picks up a mic, it'll blow your mind.
I did Rockwell, Charles, before you did. Who's the gentleman from San Pico?
Phil McIntyre.
Phil.
I was the color guy, and when I had my tractor there, I gave Travis my mic because the diesel supers weren't pulling, and I didn't even take it back from him because he's the man. He did such an awesome job. So
I love his story too, that he reiterated numerous times, even tonight, and I've heard him say it many times before, that he didn't know what he was getting into. He just committed doing it, and he did it. And that, that's what it is. I personally suffer from that analysis paralysis aspect where I want to feel like I'm an expert before I commit. And, the hell with that. Just get in there and do it, and you'll figure it out. You'll learn.
Yeah, I love it. So remember we had our California guys last week?
Yeah.
So he got it. I shipped him a famous John Bohr t-shirt, and he got that today. So he sent me a picture of that. It's famous John Bohr. So appreciate those guys doing that. So we had a good time. Looks like they had a good event out in Denair. He posted some pictures and stuff. So
I'm serious. I do want to go out there to see what they do. That'd be awesome.
Same.
I'm
all about that. I would love to go out there.
They've already messaged me, guys, and they want to come on the show every couple months with a different set of polls. Yeah. And I said, you have no idea how unorganized we are. Like, we get our guests maybe 24 hours ahead of time. So if we can have something set up. Remember when we started out earlier this year and we had like a spreadsheet and we were gonna schedule in people?
That lasted about 8 days.
Yes.
I think we can bring that spreadsheet back, and I think we need to.
We do, but it's It's fun. It's fun. So.
Hey Cody, should I tell the story that I told you the other day about the flight home? I think I should.
Might as well.
Jason, I didn't tell you this, but so we flew back a week and a half ago. Cody and I flew back to Des Moines from Atlanta after Diesels and Dark Corners, and we end up having to change planes because they found something wrong with the first one, but they didn't find it until after they'd already, crammed all of us in there like, sardines. So I'm boarding, and I don't know if I was be in front of or behind Cody, but walking through first class to get to our seat back in coach, and in the last row of the first class or business class, there's this dude that's probably, I don't know, Brent, how old are you?
25.
He probably had 5 years on you. Probably in his early 30s. Cody, he was probably between, I don't know, your age and Cody's age. And wearing a Metallica shirt. They apparently had a show in Atlanta the night before.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Metallica shirts at the airport.
And
does anybody that young know who Metallica is?
Huh? Apparently they all came to see you. Come on, do the face. There we go. There's Hetfield face. So I'm walking past this dude, and I hear just you know how you kind of half-ass hear something? I hear the word. I hear he's talking and mumbling in a sentence, and then I suddenly hear butt sex. I'm not even kidding. That's exact. Yes, butt sex. And then, without even skipping a beat, the next statement out of his mouth to the lady who's sitting next to him, who is not his traveler, not the person that he came with. Ma'am, I need to tell you that I do have Tourette's. And I will say things. And I'm just kind of walking, and I'm not saying a word. I'm looking ahead, and I'm thinking to myself, did this really happen? I had a full meal, had a few drinks with dinner. Did this really happen? I played it back in my head. It happened. I traveled with someone with Tourette's, and it was awesome. That's the end of the story. It's kind of anticlimactic, but.
So I got a funny story. So I was in Palm Beach last week for my rewards trip for work, the President's Club deal, and a glass of orange juice was $14 down there, guys. It's insane. The golf
good
course,
OJ.
We played. No, it was regular OJ, guys. We played golf at the PGA National where they have the Honda Classic. And so my favorite question to every Uber driver and every cart girl is, who's the most famous person you've ever had in your car or you've waited on at the golf course? So, it's always, and we're in Palm Beach, guys. This is like, I had no idea that the zip code we were in. Like, I saw Mar-a-Lago and Steve Wynn's house, and it was wild. Anyway, so the cart girl goes, oh, Dan Marino comes out. Oh, he's super nice. His son played golf. He's a good tipper. And then, DeMarcus Ware from the Cowboys comes out. He's a really nice guy. He's a tipper. And she goes, but Scottie Pippen. I'm like, Scottie Pippen from the Bulls? She goes, you know what his name is? No Tippin' Pippen. She goes, he drives he drives a Rolls Royce Ghost, and he don't tip nothing. I was like, what? DeMarcus Ware gets a bottle of water. He doesn't drink and hands her $100 bill and just says, thank you.
Nice.
But my vodka cranberry on the golf course was $28, and we had 3 Bloody Marys, and it was $90. So I don't need to live down there. I can't afford that. But it was a good trip. The no Tippin' Pippin story. I'm gonna make a TikTok about that yet. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm gonna tag him in it. So.
I was expecting that one of the cart girls was gonna say that she'd waited on John Daly.
No. She said he's out there, but she said Tiger Woods comes out and he just kind of keeps his hat on and just walks along the fairway while his son plays, and it was kind of fun to do all that stuff. So, but no, guys, there's a very solid positive buzz about our event, and I think because it was rolled out so professional and so I really feel like we answered all the questions before they could ask a question, and I think that's one thing we should be really proud of, because like, you know, we all waited for pull off to, you know,
it's a testament to how much we beat the hell out of each other with those questions before we let the world know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a good buzz. And when you get Travis Schlabach on here, guys, and his guys are excited about it, that's a testament, you know. And then just the text messages and the phone calls and from people I don't even know, they're calling just to say that they're really impressed by the way we rolled it out. And I just said, well, I have nothing to do with that. I said, I'm just happy to be part of it. We had some really, really smart people behind the scenes crunching numbers and working on stuff. And said, now, you know, I'm going to take a lot of pleasure in trying to let everybody know about it. So it's all good.
Well, it's just like this morning, I was on my way to work and kind of teaser one of the semis that is committing, but I saw on my caller ID on my screen of my truck show up with Ron Turf Farms, and took the call, and he saw his picture on our website. I just put a placeholder in there for just getting the website live, and he called because he didn't see an invite list anywhere because he doesn't really use Facebook, and so he decided to, because he's on Pull Off and saw the post on there, so he decided, you know, give me a call, and we're looking for 6 semis, and that's one badass semi. So we're gonna have him come. So if you guys don't know who it is, the clues are there. Just go look on the website. You'll find who we're talking about. So we'll be rolling out.
That's a semi with a past.
Yeah, and it definitely
that's the most famous bowling semi out there, as far as I know.
Yep. So we do have several people that have already put in their money that have committed. We're gonna start rolling those out. Just kind of hopefully every day, a few times a week for sure, until we get everyone, I guess, posted from the first initial invites up till January 3rd until we release the fan vote list.
Who was the first?
The very first one is John Wagner, live action.
The Walrus.
So
John,
he is the 3-time defending 85 limited pro stock PPL Western Series champion, and he was the first one.
Nashville liked him.
Actually, his wife was the first one. She signed him up. So yeah, that was cool. And we're definitely there's been a lot of buzz. I mean, I've been getting a lot of calls too from people. Talked to Brett Berg, and he's got me contact information for the rest of the mod pullers. So I'll be reaching out to them, and hopefully.
It's so fun because these guys are our heroes. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we're inviting them.
And they're working for us.
Kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, there's been a lot of buzz around it for sure. Like I said, I've been having people call me that they're not on the initial invite list, but they want to be, and how can they be? And obviously the Facebook page has been getting a lot of messages. There's people from Utah that I didn't even know they had a pro stock and super stock truck classes out there, and he was the points champion. So obviously he's going to be he'll be on the list, and he wants to get invited, and he wants to see how he stacks up against the national guys. So it's but he's on opportunity now that I know that he's a super stock diesel truck, he'll be put on that list. So just
cool privately you got to tell me who that is. I am really curious.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious
because the name is only about 4 people long. So
what'd you say? I missed that.
I'm just curious who it is because my mental microfiche is only about 3 or 4 names long, and I probably know 3 of them.
So, no, it's awesome, guys. Jack, Cody, you've been really quiet. You know, you're our talkative one. So what do you got going on?
Yeah.
He's working on learning to spell.
This is very true.
Cheers, buddy.
It was late. It's all right. I threw a cool video. Yeah. It's interesting, like the time that, you know, Jesse and I were talking like the time, and then actually I work with so like today I was working at the police department, and one of the guys actually does some photos and videos too, and so we get talking, and like the amazing thing is the music makes a huge difference, and you don't realize, like, when you make a video, you'll spend half your time trying to find music that fits, you know, and you can't really start putting videos in there together until you find that perfect sound that makes it work. And I don't know, it just, people don't really understand the time and effort it goes into telling a story and making something come out of it until you actually start doing it and realizing it after a while. So, but yeah, I mean, there's only 4 ways you make it in today's life. Yellowstone reference.
Yeah, I
You're
caught
talking
it.
to a bunch of racers. We don't watch TV.
I caught it.
I knew one person caught it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an off-air discussion. What are you doing this weekend?
Me?
All of you.
I'm going to the Outlaw Banquet.
Right. So am I.
Yep.
I'm not. I'm going opening hunting in Wisconsin because that's a national holiday here.
Right. Today was a national holiday in the state of Michigan.
Yes, it was.
It's either a national holiday or it's the bane of your existence. There's no middle ground.
Bane of my existence because I actually worked today and everybody's wife called in to buy a new car.
Ha ha ha. Nice.
Jason, do you have that picture from that piebald deer that Jamie shot down there? Do you have that?
Yeah, it's on my phone. I want to share your video quick first that you made. That's awesome.
Cody, how long did it take before the aforementioned comment that you and I were discussing tonight came up? How many minutes?
Jason actually caught it first, so I just know you're not proofreading anything from now on.
I thought you were trying to be cute, like with Doc, something like that. So I was like, all right, cool.
No, it's what happens when you just don't pay attention. Fat finger.
Oh, good.
Don't lose your when building an online store. Shop.
You could have shown the correct one.
Dick corners.
Cody, this is awesome.
I will also tell you that the transitions sound great on a big theater or big speakers with a sub.
Yeah, especially
Cody, have you watched that or listened to it? That one's one you might possibly see in May.
It's an interesting tire choice.
That's so cool, the way he did that. Mercy!
Gramley represented Wisconsin well. I didn't realize he had bounced that hard. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's just awesome, Cody. And then Adam hit it on the head. I mean, between Adam's videos and all the stuff that we grabbed and Jesse post, and that was awesome. That event get a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
So, guys, one thing that I got to talk about, because I said I would, I posted on the Sidetrack page yesterday. I've got thousands of pulling magazines here that I need to get rid of. And so I started liquidating some. And the first stack that I posted yesterday was a pile of full pulls. These. We've talked to this guy. That's just a random one I grabbed out. We've talked to this guy. Random one I grabbed out. Anyway, I just asked, why do you need them? And I'd pick a comment and choose somebody and send them to them on my dime. That's a small stack. I've got, once these are gone, I've got pro pulling mags to get rid of. I've got a stack of event programs, which includes copies of the big programs for Bowling Green and Farm Show that Brian Lively did a handful of years ago. I've got a giant stack of Red Power magazines to go, an even bigger stack of the Hook, and a massive stack of the pullers that I'm going to get rid of. So it's taking up space here. I don't need it. I want it to go to a good home. And so for these full pulls, Scott Walker, send me a DM. These are yours, buddy. I want you to have these ones, this stack of full pulls, and I'll keep doing this until they're gone. I mean, it's literally like 200 pounds of magazines sitting over here that got to go.
Wow.
Scotty's a good dude.
Yeah.
That's
what
awesome.
What years are those Red Powers, by the way?
I knew that was coming.
I have not inventoried them yet, but it's going to be mostly late 90s up through all the 2000s.
Okay, then I will not put my name in the hat. I will let them go to somebody else.
He gets to pick, though. He might not have picked you initially.
I know, but I will not put my name in the hat because I already have those.
There's that deer that was shot down at Diesels and Dark Corners that Saturday, right, guys?
Friday morning. So Jamie had Friday morning off, and he thought, well, shoot, I've got Friday off. I'll just go sit in the deer stand. And it was literally shot right next to the track down there. And he said it's really rare for it to be a buck. Normally, if it's a piebald deer, it's a doe. So he said it's really rare for it to be a buck. So he actually came down to the track after he shot it, hoping we were going to be there so we could all come take pictures for him of it. But it's getting a full body mount, so we'll expect to see that when it's all completed. But that's pretty rare deer down there.
From what I understand, Cody, if that animal were living in Iowa, you wouldn't be able to shoot it.
Right.
It would be protected because it's not more than 50% coverage on the color. So it would be protected by the DNR or something.
Robbie, send a message to Charles on Sidetracked. I'll throw his Facebook page in here right now in the comments. If anybody's interested.
This is the whole stack of full pulls, and they're already going to Scott, so those are gone. And I'm not, to be honest, guys, I'm not interested in chopping up like guys looking for an issue here, an issue there. It's not worth my time. It's going to be the whole stack, which it means if I'm shipping you a box that weighs 140 pounds, it's on my nickel. I just want it gone, and I want it to go to a good home. So it's not worth the time to me to chop them all up. That's just it. I'll list them, and when we do a section of them, you post in, and I'll pick somebody.
Robbie, I'm kind of curious. What's the tractor in your profile picture? Throw something in there in the comments, would you?
What's this one? Did you guys see the old TNT monster truck promotion is returning for one night only?
Yeah, they're going to North Carolina. I didn't read a whole bunch of details on it. It sounds like they're going to come out there, and it's kind of an in-name only thing with modern trucks rebodied with old school paint schemes.
Cool. I don't know. Is this James Harmon? Second place Friday? Probably
James Harmon. I believe he pulls a Massey 44.
Yeah, that looks like James. He didn't sign in or whatever, but
there was a rather famous picture that came out of Waterloo this weekend.
What's that?
I believe it's the one that you posted.
Which one?
With a case.
Oh yeah. That one was quite It's
the
a
interesting
man
picture.
It's a man sitting on a tractor. Whoever edited
Don't
that
make it more than that.
Yep, that was you then.
Don't make it more than that.
Ray sent that to me when I was down in Florida, and I just post that up quick, and then I don't read the comments because I get all wound up. So.
Oh, good Lord. We got so much hate mail for that.
It's going to be okay.
I missed that.
Said, let's go Brandon on the front.
Let me find it. Oh, Denny.
We got so many messages. I hope you're not turning this into a political page. It would be a shame if you turn this into a political page. Shut up. It's a man on a tractor. Don't make it more than that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Don't make it more than that. But can we just go enjoy our hobby without politicizing the shit out of everything? Seriously. Enough already. God damn.
This one's kind of funny. Did you guys see Brandon Johnson post this on the Badger State page? It's been getting quite a few shares.
I know which one you're talking about.
When your best friend calls and wants to talk about tractors, I can just see you and Charles, Ryan and Charles.
That may or may not have been me on numerous nights talking to Ryan on the phone.
Yep. Dear God, I hope Kara doesn't see that.
That's super funny.
Of course, she won't see anything on social now because she has now entered the Christmas spirit.
And it's not
Robbie, send me some video of that for the Facebook page, please.
Robbie, those twin stacks look pretty cool, dude.
Well, Travis was a great guest, guys. He has an awesome tractor. I cannot wait to see the class of 12 diesel supers on an outdoor track like that. It'd be fun to mix them up. You know, we don't really get to see them except Louisville, you know, and it'd be fun to get them outside and 2 nights and let them eat. So
I want to see the only 2 years ago when Rockwell was the only NTPA hook on the planet that year.
Yeah.
We were so fortunate to have, I mean, everybody and their monkey's uncle with a diesel super. If it was running, they came up to Rockwell. And they put on just a monster show. And there was so much camaraderie between those guys. I want to see that in May.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and Travis touched on it, the camaraderie aspect, and you just brought up, Ryan, across multiple sanctioning bodies with on that particular weekend with Mike Beck having the issues with his high pressure charger and blowing an intake apart, and Goodwin having injector problems. So Mike Beck yanked all his injectors, gave them to Matt Goodwin. He threw them in the tractor and made a hell of a run on Saturday. I mean, that was what it was about. It was awesome to see that happen.
That was old school. That was old school tractor pulling the way I remember it. Have fun, compete for a few seconds on the track, but then, you know, and then give parts back.
Yep.
Theoretically still functional.
Those guys know they have to put on a show. I mean, that's, you know, there are pulling fans that have never seen diesel supers. They just, you know, unless you go NTPA or the Outlaw, you know what I mean? So there's the PPL fans have never really, you know, that just only go to PPL hooks. They've never seen diesel supers. And when diesel supers leave the starting line, they're awesome. So,
that's a life changer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, boys, I'm going to bed. You guys got anything else?
Nah. Good luck to Nate August as he was a truck in that. He's that truck right there. He took his last couple of passes as a 4-1 semi. He's moving up in the world to full-blown pro stock in the off season.
Interesting.
So good luck to him on that transition.
Interesting story on those 2 freight shakers that are both red and black. Scott's family out of Toledo, Ohio, both of those trucks are consecutive serial number trucks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was blown away when you told me that the other day.
And ignore the Cummins logo on the cab. They're both now kitty cat powered.
They run.
Yes, they do.
He won
I
Friday.
think,
So
I think the interesting thing is the death row truck coming in a box van. That was a tight squeeze.
yeah, Adam got that video of them unloading that, right?
Well, Adam shot it one night and I shot it the other night because Scott and I were walking around and I was like, oh, we got to get this. And I saw Adam's video and I was like, yep, you got one night and I got the other, but it is tight. So I talked to him and they said, if you get to the back, the lights and the rear fenders and they hit, you got to back that thing all the way back out and start over again. It is that tight.
I love how you titled the video, Adam, the unboxing. That's awesome.
Let me find that quick. I can't not show that.
There might be a new 4-1 semi in that class by next year too.
That's true. Oh,
Yeah.
I think he's a tease.
I don't know.
He's a tease. We got to stay on him for that.
Yeah.
But it'd be awfully cool if he did.
I think he kind of got the taste for it and kind of wants to do it now. Like,
somebody should have put him in the seat of a 4-1 semi that night.
yeah, even an exhibition pass would be.
You can hear it. The tires.
Were those squeaking against the side?
Yep.
I'm telling you, it is like so ever close. So we were talking to them, and they had to get. So I talked to the, I believe it was the wife, and they had to get the exact like serial number, year, and like specific truck that they knew would fit in there perfectly.
That's the next tech nerdgasm video I want to do or talk about is the rear tandem setups on super semis because they do some weird stuff.
Okay, and did anyone ever get an answer to the question why dude was rolling around in a top hat all weekend?
I didn't.
Nor did I. He seemed very cool, though. He was lots of fun. I grabbed him after he was on Saturday night, after he was grabbing his check. The people who were standing, like, basically right behind him at the cashier's window, so to speak, they wanted to know how he got that thing out. And I said, just so happens he's right behind you and he's picking up a check. Hang on a second. I went and grabbed him. I said, these folks want to know how you extracted that semi from the van. And he just starts laughing.
So they'll drive it out, but they'll winch it on. But like I said, it's so tight. So
Yeah, I could hear the tires squealing and hitting the side of the inside of the trailer. So
yeah,
just brushing it. Well, guys, thanks for another great show. I'll try to line up another class rep for next week, and then we'll keep jamming. So,
in honor of Travis tonight.
Nice. Well played, sir.
Peace out, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
See you guys Friday.
Yesterday, how did you do?
I got second place. I lost by 4 feet.
And today?
I was 700 pounds light because I didn't really know the weight of the tractor. And it was the first time I ever pulled her. And today. Well, let's talk about today. I put her in a 16,000 pound class. I put her in turret gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her right at 370 feet, right in the sand pile. And the only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.
Figure we've been talking about Diesel Supers tonight. I'd share a couple Diesel Super videos before we log her off. So enjoy.
Just